T.S. Eliot turns out to be not many people's first choice for just about anything. And that's part of the reason I come here tonight to give you what I would describe as a T.S. Eliot crash kit.
Oh, sausage. Oh, perfect sausage.
Let us go then, you and I. Okra is very important to gumbo, primarily because, as you know, if you've stewed it, you get a slightly gelatinous substance, or maybe not slightly, you get a gelatinous substance that comes off of it. You can see that there are two little woodcuts here that tell us the important things. There's a man and a woman, okay, on the left here, and they're holding hands, so they've got a romance going on. And then by the end of it, somebody's going to hang, okay? It begins in love and it ends in death. And that's a pretty good sort of 2-second synopsis of a murder ballad. The key idea I want you to walk away with tonight is that, you know, Leadbelly, he was a living link between the 19th century and the 20th century, and that he brought a lot of songs from the 19th century over into the era of recorded music. And he basically sowed the seeds for almost every major musical movement in the 20th century.
There must have been some connection that you saw for barbecue and Walt Whitman. Can we come clean on that? I can, you know, let's go down the roads.
Well, the phrase whole hog means to go all the way, to do everything. And I think I already talked earlier about how Whitman wanted to do everyone. But I think thinking about Whitman as a person who wanted also to do everything, to literally like go all the way in poetry, I think to understand Whitman is to understand that idea. And many of you may not be regular eaters of hogs, but as you'll see tonight out on the patio, you know, going whole hog is, as Joe has shown you, it takes a lot of time, both on the cooking end and on the eating end. Joe, do you have any thoughts about the connection?
That's good. I don't know, we're brothers.
I think it's pretty clear. Anytime somebody says thus, right, they're wrapping shit up, okay? Some of these things, this heavily spiced quality of Cajun food that some of you are familiar with is, well, it does what you think that it does. It covers things up, okay? The call and response occurs in two different ways. On the one hand, John's voice is going to respond to what the guitar figure is. And on the other hand, occasionally the guitar is actually going to say things that the lyrics don't.
All in a spoon, how about that? Women go crazy, all about that. All I want in this world is just that.
Here is Shakespeare's Sonnet 73. That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which you must leave ere long. In the first quatrain, Shakespeare is saying, look, babe, I'm getting old. And then in the second quatrain, he says, I'm still getting old, but I'm even older now. It's not the fall of the year of my life. It's the night of the day of my life. So the time frame of his metaphor is getting shorter. And then he says, screw that. I'm getting so old that I'm not even going to last a full day. The fire is burning out. Therefore, that's the movement from the argument to the resolution. Therefore, basically, let's get it on, okay? I'm totally convinced that, you know, without Shakespeare, Al Green would not have had much of a career.
My question starts at the discussion about tension and grace, and I'm wondering if grace is the moment before failure.
This reminds me of a recipe for a mint julep. This is an old and revered recipe which maintains that if you want to make the perfect julep, you must wait not only until after the heat is broken, but until the dew has condensed on the leaves of the youngest, freshest, most purest sprigs of mint. You must go out under the moonlight and gather these sprigs of mint. And be careful not to shake the dew off of them. And you must bring them back into your apothecary, right, where you begin to very lightly bruise them with little bits of sugar and water to make the syrup. And then in another container, you put a bunch of ice that you're getting ready to chill your bourbon. And then you throw the ice away and you throw the mint away and you drink the bourbon, okay? Right? Because I think one of the things that happens as you're pushing things, to the edge of some sort of possibility, like what is the freshest, purest mint that I can get, you actually come to see other things. These are the felicities or the moments of grace, I think, in any kind of cooking, right? Is that you actually you develop another relationship with one of the ingredients, right? While you're waiting for the moon to come up and the dew to come down, you've been drinking bourbon the whole time. And let me tell you, if you don't already know, that with the right glass, at the right time, with the right frame of mind, there is no better experience of grace, I think. Yeah.